You're doing everything right, you have a good job. You got a promotion, you bought a house, you drive a reliable car, you're investing in a retirement fund. On paper, everything is going well. So why does it feel like your life is falling apart? Why do you still feel like everyone else is ahead of you? This feeling isn't paranoia. This situation feels familiar because the very things that are supposed to make you successful, the house, the car, the I've made it lifestyle, are quietly consuming you. Not dramatically, not obviously, just steadily, month after month, until one day you look up and realize you've been running on a treadmill that's slowly picking up speed, yet you're still standing in the same spot. 74% of Americans feel financial regret. The biggest regret people in their 40s and 50s have is that they didn't start saving early enough for retirement. But here's what nobody tells you. Most of these people couldn't save because they were irresponsible. They couldn't save because they fell into traps that seemed like good decisions at first. Traps that everyone falls into, and that you might have fallen into as well. Traps that feel like progress but are actually quicksand. Now, I'm going to talk to you about the financial traps that swallow people in their 30s and 40s. Not the well-known ones like credit card debt or gambling. I'm talking about the insidious ones disguised as responsible adulthood. The ones that are likely affecting you right now without you even realizing it. Don't get me wrong, this isn't financial advice because I don't know your situation. But I know what the first step is to understanding these traps, avoiding them, or getting out of them if you're already in them. Let's start with the first trap, and it's a big one. The trap of buying a home that's more expensive than you can afford. I know what you're thinking. I'm not stupid. The mortgage was approved and the bank said I could afford it. But here's the problem with that logic. The bank's definition of affordable has nothing to do with your real life. When a lender approves you, they calculate the maximum amount you could technically afford to pay without immediately defaulting. They don't factor in daycare costs. They don't account for the fact that you might want to go on vacation every now and then or spend quality time with your family on the weekends. They don't factor in saving for retirement or building an emergency fund. They don't factor in whether you can survive or live comfortably. According to the Atlanta Fed's Housing Affordability Tracking Report, owning a home at the median price consumes approximately 48% of the median household income. Half of your income goes toward a single expense. The traditional definition of affordable housing says you should spend no more than 30%. We've long since crossed that threshold, and it's getting worse. About 75% of American households won't be able to afford a median price new home by 2025. Households earning $100,000, which seems like a lot of money, can afford only 37% of listings. Compare that to 2019 when the same income could afford 65% of listings. Over the past 6 years, options for middle-income families have nearly halved. What happens when you stretch yourself to buy a bigger house? You get approved for a $400,000 loan. Sure, the house is nice. It has an extra bedroom, a beautiful kitchen, and a yard where the kids can play. But what's left after the mortgage, property taxes, insurance, maintenance, and bills? You're tied to the house, but struggling with cash flow. Every unexpected expense turns into a crisis. You feel strapped for cash every month. You can't save or invest. You're just trying to get by. The right move is to buy a home significantly below the amount you were approved for, maybe at 70% of your maximum approval. This gives you the advantage of retirement contributions, emergency savings, childcare, and the true cost of living your life. A small home that offers financial flexibility is always better than a large home that comes with constant financial stress. The second trap is one that catches almost everyone, the car payment trap. By 2026, the average monthly payment for a new car will be $772. You didn't misread that. Over $700 a month just for transportation. And here's the scary part. More than 20% of new car buyers are now starting to pay monthly installments of over $1,000. 22% of borrowers are taking out 84-month loans to make these payments manageable. 7 years of payments for a depreciating asset, that's pretty shocking, isn't it? Let me show you what that actually costs. If you're paying $750 a month for a car, that's $9,000 a year. Over a 6-year loan, you'll pay $54,000, but by the time it's paid off, the car will be worth between $15,000 and $20,000. You've lost $35,000 due to depreciation. And on top of that, an average of $225 a month for comprehensive insurance, plus gas. And that's before even factoring in maintenance and repair costs. Now think, What if, instead of that $750 monthly car payment, you'd bought a reliable used car for $15,000 or financed it with a $300 monthly payment over 3 years? The difference is $450 a month. If you had invested that money in an index fund for 30 years at an average return of 8%, it would have exceeded $670,000. Every expensive car you buy is a trade-off. You're giving up tomorrow's wealth for today's comfort. The third trap is a subtle combination of housing and transportation issues. You buy a house in the suburbs because it's more affordable, but you end up needing 2 cars to commute to work. Gas, insurance, and maintenance costs go up. You spend more time on transportation, which means you have less time for a side job or a second job. Restaurants and entertainment venues are farther away. And when you factor in the cost of driving there, they end up being more expensive in the long run. Studies show that people consistently underestimate the true cost of commuting. This includes not only the direct cost of gas and car maintenance, but also the opportunity cost of time, the harm to health and relationships, and the hidden cost of suburban living. A home that costs $50,000 less but requires a 1-hour commute in every direction may end up costing you more in the long run, especially if you're living in a home that's closer to work but more expensive. When evaluating a home, factor in all your transportation costs. Add up the cost of 2 cars, 2 insurance policies, and the gas and maintenance expenses required for commuting. Then compare this to the premium you'd pay for a home in a location closer to work that you could manage with just 1 car, or even no car at all. The fourth trap is the trap of keeping up with your peers. When you were making $40,000, your friends were making similar amounts. Your lifestyle expectations aligned. But as you enter your 30s and 40s, income disparities begin to emerge. Some peers earn twice as much as you, some half as much, but social expectations don't adjust accordingly. Your neighbor drives a Tesla. Your coworker talks about a European vacation. Your college friend has bought a summer house by the lake and is planning a barbecue party in the garden. And they've invited you. This creates pressure to keep up and prove you're doing just as well. But do you really know the full story behind their lifestyle? Maybe they inherited their wealth. Maybe they're drowning in debt behind that lifestyle. Maybe their spouse earns 3 times what you do. Social comparison is a trap because it disconnects spending from your actual financial situation. The only valid comparison is between your current self and your financial goals. If you're making progress toward your goals, what others do doesn't matter. If you're not making progress, comparing yourself to their spending will definitely not help you. The fifth trap is the perfect timing trap. I'll start investing when the market drops. I'll buy a house when prices fall. I'll ask for a raise when the company is doing better. I'll start saving when I earn more money. This line of thinking makes inaction seem like a strategy, and it's wrong. You tell yourself you're being smart by waiting for optimal conditions. But optimal conditions rarely come, and when they do, you find excuses to keep waiting. The market is falling, but you're afraid to buy amid the uncertainty. Home prices are dropping, but you're worried about your job security right now. The company is doing better, but your expectations are rising too. The time spent in the market is more important than timing the market. Rather than waiting forever for perfect conditions that will never come, it's better to start now with the conditions you have. The best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. The sixth trap, and perhaps the most insidious one, is the busyness trap. You're so busy working, traveling, taking care of the kids, managing the household, and resolving daily crises that you never find the time to think strategically about your finances. You never sit down to calculate whether you're actually making progress towards your goals. You never research better options for insurance, investments, or debt consolidation. You never negotiate your salary or look for higher paying jobs. You work hard, but you're not working smart when it comes to your financial life. This busyness becomes an excuse to stay in your default mode. Keep paying the same bills, keep renewing the same subscriptions, and maintain financial habits that don't serve you. Being busy isn't a badge of honor when it prevents you from optimizing your most important resource, money. Set aside time every 3 months to review your finances. Treat this like any other important meeting because a 1-hour financial review could save you thousands of dollars and years of hard work. What makes these pitfalls particularly dangerous is this. They don't operate in isolation. They compound. You're stretching to buy a big house, which requires a longer commute. A longer commute requires 2 reliable cars, which means 2 car payments. The financial stress from the house and cars makes you feel like you deserve the good things. That's when lifestyle inflation kicks in. Lifestyle inflation leaves nothing for retirement savings. The lack of retirement savings causes anxiety, but you're so busy managing the house, the cars, the travel, and childcare that you don't really have time to address it. One trap leads to another. Each one makes escaping the others even harder because every trap makes the next one possible.